Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, can I talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so are you familiar with Chris Langen?
Who?
Christopher Langen?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was wondering with reference to your arguments about presuppositionalism and whatnot, why would I not be able to why would I not be able to use the CTMU or the principles contained within as a foundation for the metaphysical worldview?
Because I think it wouldn't necessarily lead to a personal God, and it would seem to fall into the trap of Platonism.
Why wouldn't it not necessitate a personal God just because it doesn't refer to
Because
Christianity?
because Platonism doesn't require a personal God. There is no
Yeah, but see, the
personal God in
CTMU
Platonism.
is not Platonic.
Well, I'm saying it could lead to that type of a mindset about
Yeah, and
fundamental.
I'm saying it's not. It doesn't.
Well, it's not going to give us the Christian metaphysic, right?
Yeah, but why is that necessary in order for an account of let's say, an epistemological foundation when there is a possibility of another epistemological foundation, such as the CTMU?
Okay. Well, is it a personal God?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he a all-knowing, all-powerful,
Yes. Yeah.
eternal God? Okay. Is he Unitarian?
What do you mean by that? You would have to clarify.
So that's it's just that deity, right?
Yeah.
Okay. From all eternity?
Yeah.
Okay. So how does the created order come to be? Is it an emanation or a creation?
So the CTMU metaphysical view of God is basically the definition of God as that of ultimate reality. So this is
Okay,
something
but
within the CTMU.
that's not telling me anything though.
Yeah, I was about to. I'm going to connect it to that. So the CTMU has a principle called the reality principle, which basically means that there can exist nothing external to reality. So we're saying that the identification of reality, or the division of the limitation of reality we see as of now as physical objects and whatnot, is ultimately sourced back to a fundamental source of God, unbound telesis, which is unbound potential, and that's what God is.
Well, how do you know that's what God is?
God cannot be anything else.
Well, how do you know that?
Because of the impossibility of the counter.
Well, that actually doesn't justify that God is that just because you can't conceive of it as of another way. That's a
Could it
fallacy.
be another way? What other possibility
It
could God
doesn't
be?
matter because it's a fallacy to say that it's true because I can't conceive of it to be another
No, no,
way.
no. I'm not saying it's true because I can't conceive. I'm saying it's true because there is no other contrary. There's a
Well,
distinct.
and I asked you how you knew that, and you said that I can't. That there's no other way.
How? Wait, are you asking me
How
how
do
I
you
can
know that?
justify
So
that
how do
God
you?
is the
I'm
ultimate
asked.
source of reality?
How do you know, in terms of epistemology, that this principle that you're starting with is the case?
The reality principle,
Any of the propositions that you just listed.
which was the reality principle. I'm
That
trying
one
to
or
read
the
here.
attending propositions that went along with it. How do you know your first principle is the case? Are you there? Hello? So not only would there be the problem with the question of justification, there would also be the problem that we run into with the denial of the essence-entity distinction and the eternal Unitarian emanation type of position. So I was specifically asking you an epistemological challenge and a metaphysical challenge. Are you there? We can't hear you if you're there. I mean, you're still on the screen as there, but there's no sound. If you want to... Hello? And no, he's not muted. I didn't mute him. As you can see, he's not muted. Omni, are you there?
Hello. Am I brought back in?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. So where were we? Sorry.
Right, so I had first an epistemic critique of how you would know that that is the case. And then also, secondly, God as pure actuality would lead to all kinds of metaphysical problems, typically the ones that we have where we critique the Roman Catholic position of absolute divine simplicity. And those would be defeaters for knowledge.
And wait. So, would you specify that?
So the first one was the epistemic critique, where you said that
Yeah. The
that
second point that you brought up.
that if God is pure actuality, then they would be subject to the critiques that we make of the Roman Catholic position of absolute divine simplicity.
Well, all right. I don't see how that's relevant to my position, though.
Well, that's the position that you just said. What do you mean?
No. That's not the position that I said.
You said God is the ultimate reality.
I never said that God is mere actuality. There's a distinction between
I didn't
that
say
and ultimate
near.
reality.
I said you said pure actuality.
No, pure. I never said pure actuality. I said ultimate reality. There's a distinction between pure actuality and ultimate reality. It could totally be the case that God is ultimate reality.
Okay, how do you know that?
So
you keep asserting all this stuff. So God is unactualized?
Wait, what?
God is unactualized?
No. God can be actualized and unactualized. Potential. Yeah.
Okay, how do you know this, though?
Well, I have it as a foundational presupposition.
And how do you know that that's how do you know that that's the correct foundational presupposition?
Because it makes for every axiomatic epistemological principle possible. It could not be nobody. So
we already addressed this.
Wait. Nobody could hold any epistemological foundations if it were not for the necessary. If these truths were not necessarily the case. Okay.
How do you know that?
Because there is no possibility of reality outside.
But how do you know that? Do you have omniscience?
Well, it's based on the definitions, right? I mean, how? Yeah, it's based on.
How do you know that you've chosen the right self-evident principles?
Based on the definitions that we have in common.
Okay, so definitions make it self-evident.
Well, yeah, that's how we use language.
Okay, that's not how epistemology works. No, that's not how that doesn't make it justified.
We have to agree on certain. We have to agree on the.
Why does that make? Why does that? Do you know what it means to?
For us to be able to
do you know what justification means? You're just stating your position. Do you know what justification?
Yeah, given reason behind why something is. Yeah.
Well, it's more. It's not just that. It's more than that. That's one element of justification. But how do you know that you've chosen the right ones? Because you have a form of foundationalism, right?
Yeah.
How do you know those are the right self-evident maxims?
Well, because if they were not the case, it would be impossible for me to communicate. It would be impossible for me to.
But all that tells
me to be situated within reality just as much as you would be.
All that no, you don't understand. That's why it still doesn't get your justification, because all that's saying is that it appears that it has to be that way.
Anybody could make this. Anybody could.
You're not even listening. We have. No, they can't, because you're missing the point. This illustrates why foundationalism is not true. Stop interrupting me, because the point is that it illustrates why foundationalism is not true. So I'm getting at something more fundamental than all your metaphysical assertions, which is that foundationalism isn't the case. Because you have axioms, and are you familiar with Chisholm's problem?
With what problem?
Chisholm's problem of criterion.
No.
Okay, so you have axioms that are self-evident, and then you have other things that are not, right?
Sure.
Okay, so how do you know you have the right criteria, which is prior to the sussing out of these two categories?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
How do you know you have the right criteria to suss out these two categories? And if you have that, which you just admitted that you do, then you have something that's more fundamental than the self-evident axioms, and therefore they're no longer self-evident.
It's self-referential. It's necessarily self-referential.
That's not answering Chisholm's criteria problem.
Well, how not?
You're just telling me the position again. How do you know that you have the right criteria to suss out?
Ultimately, at a certain point, that is what we have to do. It's just that we have to infer from
that's called being arbitrary. So you're just asserting, you're just being arbitrary. That's called being arbitrary.
Wait. I don't understand. How is
I'm sorry, it's not my fault.
Anything that you hold.
Again, you admitted that there's two categories. There's self-evident and non-self-evident.
I just understand how this is different from.
So there's a prior criteria. It doesn't matter. That's a tu quoque. We're talking about your position. You want to defend CTMU. You didn't come here to critique TAG. You came to defend CTMU. So I want to know how it solves.
I'm asking how.
I don't care what you're asking. You're not going to answer this question.
No. I asked you about the CTMU actually in the beginning. I asked you.
Yeah. So you're here to defend that. Stop deflecting. You're deflecting.
Wait.
No, you're deflecting.
At the beginning of
answer the. All right. You're either.
You're deflecting from my question.
All right. You're going.
Deflecting from my question in real time.
You can't answer the Chisholm criterion problem, so you're deflecting.
I asked you in the beginning.
Did you not? So I don't care. Did you not say?
Wait. I
no,
asked you,
you're done. Goodbye. Jack, what's up? don't challenge me on my self-evident principles. Let's go back to the very first question I asked you. Why would we go back to the first question when the first question led to this point?